Why, hello there, lovely one. I'm going to ask you to do something slightly unconventional. Usually I just launch into the question, but this time I want you to actually pause the video and look at the question and try and figure it out yourself. And then when you're feeling either confident that you've got the right answers or a little bit mixed up, start the video again and look at what my answers are. So you have got 2 seconds to press pause. 1, 2. And welcome back. Did I give you enough time? I hope so. Hopefully you did press pause and you tried each of these questions. Now what's interesting about this number pattern is it's really unconventional, like me. Unconventional. That means you don't see it often. Let's start with line 1. We've got 4, 3, 2, and 1. To me, that's the easiest thing to see in terms of a pattern. They're all squared. We've got minus, a plus, and a minus. And we see that this continues with line 2. Also, minus, 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 plus, 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 minus, minus, minus. As well as squared, 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 squared. Lots of squares. And then look at this. 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2. 6, 5, 4, 3. So there are lots of patterns going on this side. It almost makes this side look boring. But there's also quite a few things going on here that are quite interesting. So we've added these terms together and we get an answer of 10. Then an answer of 14. Then an answer of 18. Can you see any common patterns over here? Well, the first thing I saw is that we are adding 4 each time. Now the question is, what's more important? Is it more important to notice this pattern, or is it more important to notice this pattern? And the answer is, it all depends on what the question's asking you to do. So here we have line A, line B, and line C. Now watch out, the other ones were called 1, 2, 3, so that doesn't mean that this is line 4. It just means it's line A. We don't know what A stands for. Line B, it can't be line 5. We know that because it's actually the nth term. And then line C, we don't know what it is because it doesn't give us any direction. At least with line A, they're telling us that it's equals to 30. So the first question says, complete line A. Now, in order to do this, I actually continued the pattern a little while. So I went 7 squared, oh, that 2's not so great, minus 6 squared, plus 5 squared, and minus 4 squared. And while I was practicing this, can't tell you how many times I wrote the wrong numbers. So I would write 7 squared and then suddenly jump to 5 squared, 4 squared, 3 squared. Absolute rubbish. It's the simple errors that make us lose marks. So watch things. Otherwise you're going to get things wrong. So just keep an eye on things and then you'll be happy. Okay. Now, when I calculated this, I got an answer of 22. And you'll just have to trust me because I'm not getting out the calculator again. And then I noticed something interesting. This is plus 4, and this is plus 4, and then to go from 18 to 22, what am I adding? 4 again, which means I don't actually have to calculate the next one, which is going to be all of these. And remember, I'm watching that I don't make any silly errors. So I've gone 8, 7, 6, 5. And that should give me an answer of 26. And 9, 8, 7, and 6 should then give me an answer of 30. So have I had to do any real mathematics? No, This was just calculator work, and then noticing that it had a difference of 4 for the sum with every one. So it's not a difficult question, it just looks like a foreign language. That's all. But you'll all be fine with that because you'll see through it and see that it's going to be something nice. Okay, are you ready for the next question? Complete line B. Now this question is a lovely one, and there are a number of different ways you can do it. You can do it the difficult way, which is to multiply out all of these brackets and add all the like terms. And the reason why it's difficult is because it leaves a lot of space to get things wrong. Or you could do the slightly more sneaky way, which is by grouping these terms. And why do I want to group them? Well, look at that. It's a squared number minus a squared number. Squared number minus a squared number. Which means it's a difference of 2 squares in both of them. So I can rewrite it as n minus 1 and n plus, the other bracket was n minus 1. So much nicer to look at than that. Okay, there was a plus between the two terms. So the other one is also a difference of 2 squares, n minus 2 minus n minus 3. And because it's a difference of 2 squares, we've got to put the addition in the next one. And then we just have to multiply within the brackets. So let's do that. So the first bracket becomes n minus n plus 1. The second bracket becomes n plus n minus 1. And we've got the plus between the two terms. Then we have n minus 2 minus n plus 3. Watch out for that negative. Negative times a negative is a positive. And then we have n minus 2 plus n minus 3. And now we add within our brackets. So this one actually becomes just 1. Why? Because n minus n is 0. Plus 1, it's going to be 1. The next bracket is 2n minus 1. Because n plus n is 2n and minus 1. The next one, n minus n is 0, minus 2 plus 3 is going to be 1. Isn't that fantastic? And then we've got n plus n, so that's 2n, and minus 2 minus 3, that's going to be minus 5. We can multiply those brackets out, so we have 2n minus 1 plus 2n minus 5, which gives us 4n minus 6. So that is what that is equals to. Now we could have squared each bracket and then added it all together. You would have got the same answer. I just like this method. I like the fact that we can do a difference of 2 squares. And then it's easy. I don't have to remember how to square a binomial. I just like it a lot more. Now with this last part of the question, I got a little bit creative. I really liked it. Complete line C if it is the 10th line in the pattern. So I was looking at this and I thought, okay, we could count. We could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we could make the 7, the 8, the 9, the 10. So the 10 would be 13 squared minus 12 squared plus 11 squared minus 10 squared. And it would be quite easy to get the answer through doing all of that. Because why? Well, we just add 4 every time. So if that's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that's the 6th line. 30 plus 4 is going to be 34. then it's going to be 38. So 7th line, 8th line, 9th line is going to be 42, and 10th line would be 46. So we don't actually have to think that hard. We just write down 13 squared minus 12 squared plus 11 squared minus 10 squared is equals to 46. But I think that's too easy. I want to do something interesting. So I spent a long time looking at this, at the different kinds of patterns. One of the things I noticed was if we add 4 and 1 together and we multiply it by 2, we get 10. If we add 5 and 2 together, that gives us 7, and we multiply it by 2, we get 14. If we add 6 and 3 together, that's 9, and if we multiply it by 2, we get 18. Now, I'm pretty sure that's not the pattern that the examiner was looking for, but it is something interesting, and it just shows how we can think out of the box to find what we really need to know. So 13 plus 10 is 23. 23 times by 2 is 46. It's just a very nice pattern. Now remember, in grade 10, you need to rely a lot on your own intuition. So that means you must look and you must consider everything and try and develop your own ways. In grade 11 and grade 12, it's going to be a lot easier. So that's good news.